Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is the 19th installment in the Call of Duty series. It's a first-person shooter game and borrows the name from a previous 2006 release. But unlike its predecessors, this one's gained more traction because of a few issues that have come up. To highlight that, in this video, we're going to be talking about how Dr Disrespect and TimTheTatman have revealed Modern Warfare 2's biggest fault. First up, let's dig deep into Dr Disrespect and TimTheTatman's concerns. Some of the biggest streamer names are Herschel Beam, popularly known as Dr Disrespect, and Timothy John Betar, widely known by his gamertag TimTheTatman, talking to each other on a livestream like any other day. Both revealed what they think is the biggest problem with the new Call of Duty. Beam expressed his views regarding the game's one big issue, which is the skill-based matchmaking, also known as SBMM. He believes that this one particular thing is making the game unplayable for him, and that bothers him the most about it. Tim could be seen nodding his head when Doc was speaking, making it obvious that he shares the same concerns as him. Adding to this, let's remember that Activision has banned the Doc for having strong views regarding other Call of Duty titles in the past. The point that we're trying to make is that Dr Disrespect is not one to hold back on his thoughts when it comes to Call of Duty. Kind of ironically, he's putting respect to his own name. Following up, what even is skill-based matchmaking? The particular feature was made famous by Epic Games and their globally loved game, Fortnite. Since then, many battle royales and other types of games have adopted it. In an SBMM, the game focuses on players with a similar set or levels of skill and matches them together in a lobby. This makes the game more playable for all types of players, from a noob to a competitive player. Everyone gets to enjoy playing the game. This way, the game succeeds in retaining the maximum number of players who might have otherwise fled after having a bad experience with higher or lower skilled players. Not to mention, could this feature be actually ruining the game? But as it solves one problem, it creates a new one. When players are matched based on skill, there's no randomization in the lobby, and a lot of gamers think this is very boring and redundant gameplay. The same is the concern for many streamers who are constantly matched with players of similar levels, which most of the time are competitive players. Now, this may not look like much of a problem, but it is, especially if you're a hardcore gamer or play competitively. Players like Doc and Tim may be pros, but they wouldn't always want to play the game while being on the edge of their chairs. This would also prevent them from creating more interesting and entertaining content for the viewers, as they would be more concerned with the competitiveness of the game rather than the enjoyment they could have had. Next up, could this be changed or made better? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was released on the 28th of October across PlayStation 4, 5, PC, and Xbox consoles. But the exciting part is that it was released as a beta version and not the game's final release. This means that the devs are wanting to give players and streamers the chance to play and point out their concerns and faults in the game so that with feedback, the game could be improved before its final release. Maybe the devs could pull a reverse gear on the SBMM. Maybe, but we're not so sure about it. Why? Because most of the feedback, as of yet, has been dismissed by the developers. But again, it comes to what is better for the company versus what's better for a group of gamers and streamers. The company would probably stick with the former because they'd like to secure as many players as possible, especially knowing that the streamers may complain about the feature. However, they would still want to play the game because of its popularity among fans. It's like clockwork, really. Finally, a little about whatever good that the game has to offer. Sure, Dr Disrespect and TimTheTatman are annoyed by skill-based matchmaking, but this isn't the first game or their first time being affected by this thing. They've played other games such as Call of Duty Warzone and Fortnite in the past, both of which run on SBMM to name a few. But in their own words, it's not all bad when it comes to Modern Warfare 2. As Doc says, he really likes the way the game handles weapons, and that the overall feel and implementation of the map are also great. There have been positive reviews from the fans as well. Some say that it improves on almost everything that its prequel, Modern Warfare, had to offer. Not just this, the game will also be linked with Call of Duty's second installment in the Battle Royale series, Warzone 2. This will allow players to have cross-progression between the two games. There's a lot that the game has to offer if you can look past the SBMM. Now, moving on to other news. To start with, Activision declares a full-fledged war with cheat makers. Activision, the same company that publishes Call of Duty games, has decided to go all out on the developers of COD's most popular cheat. The publisher filed a new document for an ongoing suit in California. The document contains the name of dozens of different individuals and the company itself. But what's interesting is that it also has a charge of racketeering mentioned in it. German-based company Engine Owning has been accused by Activision of not just violating the terms of use for the software software and wire fraud, but also for committing violations of the Racketeering Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. This is a huge accusation and could land the German company in some hot waters. Activision believes that the individuals involved, namely Valentin Rick, Krodel, and Leon Schlender, are the main masterminds behind the software, since they actually created it. Keeping this in mind, Activision accuses them of knowingly conspiring against them making money through unlawful means in the process. To further stretch the suit, Activision wants to get access to all the money that the company has made, if they win the case of course. But with that, they would also like the courts to restrict the individuals and the company from making such software and exploit existing software in such a way that provides an unjust advantage to some people over the other. Next up, Cardi B believes that she missed out on an opportunity with Call of Duty. Cardi B took to Twitter recently to express the regret she has over missing out on a deal with Call of Duty, a deal which she claims to be a multi-million-dollar one. That's right. Yes, we might be as confused as you are because we don't see the connection between the two, but you do you, Cardi B. B had a lesson for her fans when she talked about the deal. She suggested that she couldn't make the deal because of some court proceedings she had herself involved with. B recently appeared in court and pleaded guilty to 2 misdemeanors. As a result, she had to miss out on a major cash deal. She tried to tell her fans in her short burst on Twitter that be wary of your decisions because they could make you miss out on bigger things. When fans replied to her tweet saying they would like the deal to be renegotiated, she replied by saying that the deal was a couple of weeks ago and she couldn't bag it because of court. Finally, Activision says goodbye to Warzone. Launched in March 2020, Call of Duty Warzone took the world by storm. There were a couple of reasons for this. First of all, the Battle Royale space had been heating up for quite some time now, since Fortnite was booming and there was no kid that wasn't playing the game. Amid all of that, there was a demand for a more serious Battle Royale game for fans of Call of Duty. Now, there were Apex Legends and PUBG that were sort of filling the game, but not really. Second of all, this was peak COVID-19 time, so everyone was sitting at home doing nothing. In a time like that, Warzone became an enjoyable pastime for millions of individuals all over the world. But now, 2.5 years later, Warzone has finally received its final update. The game is about to go down as we know it, but it isn't as bad as we might think it is. You see, each Battle Royale has seasons that can last anywhere from 2 to 5 months. In addition to that, they also have chapter refreshes that usually happen after 2 years or so. So for Warzone, this could really be just a chapter refresh, but they've decided to go in a different direction with it. They're going to abandon this game and launch a new Warzone 2 in place of it. This could be because they would want it to be integrated with their new title, COD Modern Warfare 2. That's a wrap for this video. Have you played the new Call of Duty title? Do you have any suggestions for the devs? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See ya in the next one.